Do you think David Johnston should have recommended a public inquiry into alleged foreign interference?
100%, yeah. Uh, I think he should have. I think that right at this point we're just taking the word of the liberal government. It might be true, it might not be true.
I personally think he probably should have. I haven't seen the documents behind his decision making, but I think that maybe a public inquiry is the only thing that's going to satisfy concerns, and satisfying concerns is also important. So I have a lot of respect for Mr. Johnston, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I'm concerned about that, maybe, but I don't think we need to inform everybody about everything. I think the Prime Minister is probably handling it quite well.
We need a public inquiry. I find Trudeau's got off on this confidentiality on a lot of issues, and he's just hiding behind it, and the Canadians are not getting the truth. And it's frustrating because if it's interfering in our government, what's to say that the next election is going to be rigged as well?
I think a public inquiry, it would be ridiculous. Virtually all the evidence is classified. It's by definition, you cannot have a public inquiry into that state of affairs. I realize it's awkward and difficult, but we have to find a non-public way of doing that. Trusted parliamentarians, a panel of experts, but quite simply, the evidence required to make the decisions on that are classified.
I haven't heard too much on that, where it's been so new, and this day and age, everything seems like a touchy subject, but at the same time, politics being what they are, they should be for the people. So with that being said, should be at least more receptive to the idea that the public is going to want to know. But again, I can understand if they can only share so much information at the time.
I think you should follow the recommendations of what he was hired to do. Otherwise, why hire him in the first place?
I deeply respect David Johnston as a very fine person. I do believe that he is unbiased. I don't buy the rhetoric around his having all sorts of biases. I really think that he can give a solid recommendation. And his solid recommendation was not to proceed with a full inquiry. And I can accept that. I think that we are fully aware at the federal level of the threat posed by any foreign country trying to influence the results of our elections. And I think it's outrageous that any country would try to do so. And any country that tries to do so should face pretty serious consequences in our country. That we are not prepared to play ball with these parties, and we're prepared to force the, I guess the word would be retirement or expulsion of anybody who tries to force the elections along the lines of what they're looking for.
Well, again, for me, I think that it costs money for all these public inquiries. I don't know how, I'm not that familiar with that particular issue, but security is a problem the world over now because of internet, because of technology. So I'm not really sure how to answer that one.
I think that from what I heard on the news, that's all I know. I think it's fair. And I think there's a lot of typical things happening in politics. It's all about become a very political game. Who's going to be in the spotlight at the moment? And it's unfortunate. I don't think you're going to get any closer to any answer than what he has.
I have no opinion on whether David Johnston should have called a public inquiry. I respect the man. I respect his office. I think the people that have been taking shots at David Johnston are doing it in an unwarranted fashion.
He couldn't give any recommendations because of the secrecy aspect. And in my view, they should have known that before it even started. So, it's kind of a waste of money. And so there should be an inquiry to look further into it. The privacy concerns, well, I'm not sure how you should handle that, but he definitely wasn't the person to do the job originally. So.